Hello, you wonderful Rise of Kingdoms players out there. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. You saw it at the very end of it. Mulan is coming to the international servers tomorrow, okay? She's coming tomorrow. We've already done a video on her when she was released in the Chinese servers. This is the skills that Mulan has. I wanted to go over these again really quick just to refresh your memory and emphasize how critical she's going to be for the battlefield, because even though she's a peacekeeping commander and she's a free commander, you know, free, we all know what free means, right? But she's going to be critical, guys. I want to quickly go over this just to refresh your memory, and then I'm going to add in another section to this video. I'm going to be talking about what I think will be the new infantry commanders coming out sometime later this week or early next week is my timeline. And I'll also, again, give you my 2 picks based on the information I've gotten from multiple sources, multiple people that I trust, on who they possibly could be. So let's jump into it really quickly. Mulan, I'm going to go through her skills really quick because, again, I've already done a video on her. However, I do want to emphasize and refresh how important Mulan's going to be on the battlefield. Her first skill is amazing, and it's buffed by her expertise, so we'll breeze over that part, but provide an attack, defense, and health buff of 15%, and once you have her expertise, it's up to 20% for 3 seconds, and march speed by 25%, up to 30% once expertise for you and all allies around you. Now, I don't know what her circle is going to be, her circle of, influence or whatever you want to call it. If it's large like Jones, this is huge. She's huge to have on the battlefield. This would stack with almost everything that's out there because of the way it's structured. It's a 3-second buff. You've got Joan out there with a 4-second buff, but they don't buff like this. This buff is separate. It's a different kind of buff. So these should stack on top of each other. And if you have multiple Mulans and multiple Joans, you can basically keep those buffs on all the time depending on how many you have. This skill basically immediately makes Mulan a must-have for any support warfighter. So anybody who's not necessarily on the front line, T5 versus T5, you want to have support structure behind those fighters, those frontline fighters that are your buffer for when you come in and start popping all these buffs, debuffs, all those good things as a support warfighter. T4 with T5 tech, even T4 without T5 tech, but decent tech for war. You want to have Mulan as high as possible. That's going to be a maximum benefit for you. Second skill, another really good one. Reduce damage taken by 5% when surrounded. That helps. Counterattack has a 20% chance to reduce enemy rage by 100. Triggers once max every 5 seconds. Now, if we read it the way it's read, this should fire off twice every skill cycle, which effectively turns any player that's hitting you, any commander that's hitting you, now has a 1200 rage requirement instead of 1000. Unless it's Genghis or unless it's Edward. Genghis would have a little bit less, obviously, and Edward would have even more, which that could actually work to your detriment. Well, we can talk about that later. But this is huge. This skill, again, kind of makes it okay for those frontline fighters to have Mulan as part of their 10 commander pairings, especially if you don't have the Williams, all these top tier open field fighting commanders. Mulan is going to be a very critical part of PvP group fighting, as well as just KVK, ARC, all that good stuff. You're going to want to have plenty of Mulans on the battlefield whenever you're bringing as much power and force as you want to on the battlefield. Third skill, no PvP, but the best XP skill in the game, 95% increase to experience gain. Mulan's really quickly going to turn into your Swiss Army knife for Rise of Kingdoms, and she does a lot of things that no other commander does, and she does them better than any other commander for the things that she does copy from other commanders. Fourth skill, increases attack by 20%. That's also huge. Provide additional benefits when Mulan's a secondary commander. That's where I would put her anyway. Increase enemy damage taken by 20% after casting main skill. Also huge. Now, here's the thing. I don't see a timer on that. I don't see an increased damage taken by 20% for 5 seconds or anything like that. I'm not sure what the number is there. If it's longer than what it takes for the first skill to come back around, if she is a second, that is really, really good. If it's not, that means that you're either going to trade off the 20% attack or the 20% damage taken to your enemy, depending on where you've got her, either primary or secondary. So we'll take a look at that. I don't have access to the Chinese servers. However, both of those are really good, and again, must-haves if you're going to have her in the battlefield. She's going to be really benefited by that. We already went over the expertise. It buffs the primary skill, which is a must-have skill on the battlefield. Very, very good. Mulan's going to basically be your, again, your jack of all trades, your Swiss Army knife. She's going to be able to do everything for your account. She's going to help you level up other commanders. She's going to help you on the battlefield from a buffing standpoint, and she does have some primary army capabilities with that second skill and fourth skill. So those are really good skills to have all together. She's going to be one that you're going to want to put some time and effort into. Of course, she's free but not free. You understand how that works. But I would definitely make her a priority if you are a heavy spender and you don't have really much else to go after on your commanders. If you do, then I would prioritize her inside of that build order that video that I posted earlier for you guys to take a peek at. Now, let's shift over to what I think is happening for the infantry commanders coming, and I think about a week or less, roughly. I think this is going to happen a week or less from now. You're going to see 2 new commanders for infantry. They're the next ones in the set, the rotation. Last time we had 2 Cav. That was Chandragupta Maurya and William. I regret maxing Chandragupta just because I didn't need to have another open field Cav commander when I have William being added to my rotation. I was hoping Chandragupta would make a skill damage version of Attila Takeda, and that just did not pan out. Based on the skills, the way it to me seemed like it should work. Maybe a counter rally to Attila Takeda, reducing those stats, but I regret that. I don't regret William maxing him out. I do regret Chandragupta maxing him out. However, we're going to be able to max whatever comes our way. I'm going to be saving up stuff and purchasing stuff and all that good stuff. So we're going to have sculptures for you to see how these things work, and I'm going to test them for you as always. Now, the 2 commanders that I think are going to be coming are infantry because they're in the rotation. It goes Cav, infantry, archers, and then it starts doing some crazy stuff with garrison and leadership and things like that, and then swings back around. So we just got done with Cav. We're moving over to infantry. I've got 2 commanders here that I think will be our first 2 infantry commanders coming. So let's say the first one is going to be Xenobia. This is one that I've heard from multiple people saying this is going to be one of the next infantry commanders. She was a queen of Palmyra, which we've heard that in multiple pieces of this game, including the Lyceum for the quizzes. We've heard Palmyra quite often in the quiz questions, in the final exam questions. And again, she's part of the Syrian / Persian / ancient Greek area right there, that Iran, Iraq area right there. They are all feeding into the storyline you should be able to see being built inside of the game right now. They're coming out with Greek commanders like Artemisia and Leonidas. They're coming out with Roman commanders like Theodora. They're coming out with that kind of thing. And then the other one, I think, again, based off that same storyline, is going to be Agamemnon, which is another ancient Greek, part of the Trojan War history, part of the... and I think this is what's going to open up a lot of stuff here, right? We've got the Trojan War with Hector, Achilles, Agamemnon, Briseis, Paris, Helen, all of those characters in the Odyssey story, the Iliad stories, are all going to be unlocked because they're starting to come out with commanders like this. So I think these are going to be our 2 next infantry commanders based off of the birdies that I talk to on a regular basis. I've got multiple people saying that these could be the next ones. And I just wanted to give my own predictions because I do rely on information from other people. None of this is from Lilith, of course. It's all from people who are in tune to the game, like myself, we talk about this stuff every week, trying to get glimmers and, you know, about what's coming. So my picks for the next 2 commanders are going to be Xenobia and Agamemnon, both infantry commanders in my opinion, because that's what's coming. And again, from a timeline perspective, I think either this week or early next week. That's usually when the legendary commander rotations tend to pop out. It's either Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday for the MGE stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys are going to bring to the table. Hopefully I'm right. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm not. But if I'm not, you think there's something else coming out, leave it in the comment section below. Give me a heads up. We'll talk about it as well. And again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of re-announcement of Mulan coming tomorrow. That's huge. And again, a little bit of theory crafting on which new legendary commanders for infantry are coming out very, very soon. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care.